Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the disadvantages of living here in Thailand. I get a lot of comments that people say, oh, you always say Thailand's so great. You never say anything bad about it. Well, here we go. But before we get going, know this, the list is very small. Also, just know that this is only my opinion. And also know wherever you go in the world, there's going to be issues. No matter how much you want it to be perfect, not everything will be. So the first thing on the list is miscommunication. A lot of times you will try to get your point across to a Thai person and they look like they understand completely. Smiling, agreeing, and you think things are good to go, only to find out later on they had no idea what you said. It just happens, not their fault. It's your fault because you don't speak Thai. Or if you're like me, you can speak some Thai, but it's so bad, they can't even understand you. So the miscommunication can be a disadvantage, especially if you need to get something really important done. You may want to have some sort of help. So it can be a disadvantage of living here. Remember, there's not a whole lot of disadvantages, so I really had to scrape some up for you. Now, nobody's expecting this next one, and that is spending too much money. Yes, Thailand has a great cost of living here, but the problem is you get over here, right? And you've got all this new money. It looks like monopoly money. It looks like it's not real. So you don't mind spending it. Plus, you're having such a good time. Everything's so cheap. So you just keep doing stuff and you're enjoying doing all these things. Buying a friend a drink, going out for the night, whatever it is, eating some fancy food because it's very cheap. You better keep your eye on your budget because it'll add up quick. And before you know it, you're spending way more than you ever budgeted for. And now you can't really afford to live in Thailand anymore. So you really have to watch your spending here. So I'm going to put that as a disadvantage because it's so easy to lose track of what your spending should be. You end up spending way too much and don't even realize it until it's way too late. Now the next one's to all my Americans or anybody else who drives on the right-hand side of the road, on the left-hand side of the car. So when you come here to Thailand, you're gonna have to really kind of learn how to drive all over again if you do plan on driving. The reason being in Thailand, we drive on the left-hand side of the road. And when you get a vehicle, you're driving on the right-hand side. So if you're in a manual, you'll be shifting with your left hand. I can assure you, I had to learn all this stuff and you'll catch on really quick. At least I did. I'm hoping that the rest of you will as well. But the driving is totally different. So you're going to have to get used to a different way of driving. So I'm going to put that into the disadvantage bucket here just because there is that learning curve, which is kind of a disadvantage. The next one is keeping track and trying to adhere to all of the visa regulations. This really depends on the type of visa that you have here in Thailand. Do you have an ED visa and you're required to show your proficiency in, let's say, the Thai language or your Muay Thai school? Are you on a retirement visa? And some of the retirement visas may have some insurance requirements that you need to keep up with. You've got your 90-day check-ins. Anyway, the point is that a lot of the visas, they have requirements or things you need to do. In your home country, you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. When you're living in Thailand, you do need to worry about that kind of thing because, you know, the visa things are a little complicated here and there are some steps you have to do. And of course, nobody enjoys going to immigration and waiting in any lines. But anyway, I'm going to put that down as a disadvantage. Now, this next one could be an advantage or disadvantage. It just all depends on the way you want to take this one. So it's hot year round. If you're a person who likes to have distinct seasons and you enjoy fall and winter, it might be a huge disadvantage for you here because we just don't have winter. It isn't going to happen. So it's just different intensities of heat year round. But other than that, I mean, I think it's great because you get to do more outside activity all the time. But we're going to put disadvantage is that there is heat year round. So if you're not a person who likes heat, I doubt you're really going to enjoy it here in Thailand. Next, we're going to talk about the food here in Thailand, where it is very good. It is very spicy. You can ask for it to be less spicy, of course, but I just want to tell you that a disadvantage, if you're a person that doesn't like spicy food, might be living in a country where they serve mostly spicy food. So you can make your own food, of course, and everything else, but just wanted you to be aware that if you're not a spicy food person, you may have to be a little bit more selective about what you eat here in Thailand, which could be something to consider when you're trying to figure out what country that you want to move to. Okay, so brace yourself for the next one. It's probably the biggest doozy on the list, and that is going to be the smoky season. So there is a time of year where all the farmers and they're burning their fields for different reasons, and the smoke goes up in the air. And this happens not only in Thailand, but the surrounding countries. So all that smoke goes up in the air and it hovers over Thailand, which means the air quality goes really bad. You can't see the sky anymore, and you're breathing this stuff in, and it's not very good for you. So my wife and I deal with that by using air purifiers in our house, and we stay indoors most of the time. If we do stay outside for a long time, we would need to use a PM 2.5 mask. Those months that it's the worst is March and April. So those are the 2 months that are really bad. You can have smoke in January and February. It's just not going to be as bad as March and April. Just know, smoky season is a real thing. This is what it looks like when it's not smoky season, so it's nice and pretty, just the way you would expect Thailand to be. And this is what it looks like when it's the smoky season, so as you can see, it's not the greatest time to be here. Another disadvantage about Thailand is going to be the whole safety comes last thing here. So it is a little bit more dangerous in Thailand than other countries, and that's simply because there's just not all these rules. The rules are kind of non-existent for a lot of things, or there's not railings. There's not, you'll be walking along a sidewalk and there'll be a huge hole and it's not properly marked or things like that. So just know that if you're an accident-prone type person, this may not be the place for you. So there is some safety concerns as far as your daily life. It's not crime. It's going to be just personal safety, as in you need to watch where you're stepping, where you're going, kind of like where I'm going down these steps right now. But you need to make sure that you are in charge of your own well-being. Don't expect everything to be to the safety standard that you may be used to. If you are planning on moving here to Thailand, we have a guide to moving to Thailand step by step. It's about 8 pages long. If you go to our Buy Me a Coffee page, it's in the description, and you click on that and then click on extras, you'll be able to find it. So if you are serious about moving here to Thailand, you might want to check it out. So we do have some shout outs for people who have contributed to the channel, and those people are as followed. So from Buy Me a Coffee, I Sing in My Car, thank you very much, and Boom, so thank you. On Super Thanks, we have Rob LA, we have Lisa Ameni, we have People Vexed Vet, and we also have on Patreon Shams. I apologize if I butchered any of those screen names or names, but that's as close as I can get. So thank you very much. We sure do appreciate it. If you like the video, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And if you feel so inclined, buy us a coffee, link in the description. And until next time, I'm going to end this video by saying thank you in Thai, which is Kap Kun Kap.